Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Drop Zone, brought to you by our partners at Doobie. And I'm your host, Anthony Young, and I'm with my boy Jeff Walsh today. We're your hosts for the night. And how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. Tired as all hell, as normal. But other than that, I'm doing quite well. How are you doing?
About the same. Yeah, tired,
Another long week.
definitely.
But the NBA playoffs are absolutely ramping up. That's pretty much all we got today. Is NBA playoffs and a dummy of the week. So that's all we got because the NFL has been a little bit quiet.
Well, there is one NFL news. Stephon Diggs was found not guilty.
Yeah, that is a good thing because this that whole situation was kind of just BS. You know, not not to mean, but these women, if they don't get what they want, they just gonna pin things against these NFL players to try and get as much money out of them as possible. But that doesn't work all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have really thinking on that because it's just getting ridiculous. There should be something done about these females coming up with these false allegations and stuff like that because they're quick to throw a male under a jail if they're found guilty, but nothing happens to the females for false allegations.
Yeah, especially like someone of his stature, of Diggs. It's just, and not just in this situation. It's in just normal everyday life. Every just normal people, I would say, that happens to, and it's just really gross and disgusting that they would do that. But I mean, nothing really shocks me anymore. But you know, I would I would hope there'd be a penalty for the false allegations. But there isn't. We just kind of just ignore it and just go by. But like you said, if the man is actually guilty, the people are very quick to try and pin him underneath the jail, but nothing happens to the false allegations, which I think is absolutely gross.
So what's our first topic? I know we're doing playoffs.
Yeah, so we need to talk about round one because every game that because we haven't been on in a little while, but the game sixes in the East to get to game sevens in round one were extremely interesting, extremely crazy and fun, and some of them got belts of ass. Which we'll talk about in a little bit with you and your Knicks. But the 1-8 matchup in the Orlando and Detroit series
Yeah,
has
that
happened
series became crazy.
Yeah. Detroit down 3-1. In Game 6, they were down by 24 at one point in the third quarter, and the Pistons were able to come all the way back and win the game. Thanks thanks to Cade Cunningham's 32 points and Harris's 22. Um, did not shoot it great at all. But the huge takeaway out of this was that the Magic in the second half missed 27 straight field goals.
That's crazy.
How that's physically possible as a team in the NBA. Just 27 straight field goals. Mhm. That's obviously an NBA record. And they only scored 19 points in the second half, when Cade Cunningham had about 19 points total, I think, in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, epic collapse from the Magic. But just one way to just never give up on the Pistons part, because a lot of teams were just packed it in, being down 3-2. But JB Bickerstaff really didn't let that happen, and it was a very impressive win. It was definitely a tale of two halves, because the Magic really got dominated the first half, and then the Pistons really turned around in the second half, which again, impressive. And again, they were able to win Game 6 and force a Game 7, which I did not expect to happen watching that first half, and they were able to come all the way back.
I did notice that back in Game 6. Um, Once again, you basically had no help coming from anybody else outside of Harris. I was hoping Cunningham. Robinson did pitch in 14 points, but again, Jalen Duran was nowhere to be found again. 8 points on 4-6 shooting. Um, I think what helped them in the second half was the fact that um, the Magic just, they only had two players in double digits. Bocharo and Bain with 17 points apiece. And Bocharo was 4 for 20, 0 from 9 from downtown. So do I need to say it?
Nope. We say all the time. 0 for 9 from downtown's bad. Again, they missed 27 straight field goals in the game in the second half.
Yeah, at that point, yeah, when you're missing that badly, you got to find a way to get the ball in the hole. You have to. There's no excuse. You just got to find a way. And Wagner didn't play because he had a right calf strain. But Kane only had 3 points. Wendell Carter Jr. only had 9 points. Jalen Suggs had 7 points. So, I mean, the way their scoring was set up doesn't compute to how they was 24 points down. How the Magic had the Pistons 24 points down at one point by the third quarter. It just doesn't add up.
I mean, it was really, again, watching it, it was a tale of two halves. It really was. The Magic were making everything difficult for the Pistons on the offensive end. And then when the second half started, it was just the Pistons turned to switch. And again, it goes to the coaching. People overlook it a lot, but again, certain coaches and in that situation, I think teams would have quit and gave up. but the Pistons didn't. And then again, they forced the game seven. And game seven was almost about to ass. It was a completely different story for this game. The Pistons won 94 to 116 to win the series and come back down 3-1. Wagner did play again with the calf strain. Banchero was pretty much the only offense for the Magic, scoring 38 points on 14 or 25 shooting. I mean, Bain dropped 16, but he wasn't really aggressive. I watched that game; he really wasn't aggressive to get his own shot. It was mostly Banchero uh, drawing a double team and then hacking out to him. Tobias Harris with a playoff career high with 30 points on 11-18 shooting. He absolutely took over this game at one point where Cade didn't need to do everything. Harris just really had it going, and Cunningham dropped 32. I mean, it was just very balanced scoring from the Pistons, and Jenkins was 16 off the bench, which was huge. Pistons shot very efficiently on 51%, almost 50% from three, only 13 turnovers, 30 assists. Just a really good game. And again, the Magic blew a 3-1 lead, which is kind of crazy, but we witnessed it in a different series, which we'll talk about in a second. So the Pistons were able to do what was nearly impossible and come back from 3-1, and they were able to move on to round number two in the playoffs. And again, it was about a little bit of a dominating fashion. It was a bit close, but then they pulled away in third quarter. So yeah.
Yeah, this was I mean, Jalen Duran finally showed up and scored in double digit with 15 points. Um, yeah, this was a complete collapse by the Magic, and it actually cost their head coach his job because he was fired the next day. Um, yeah, there should have been no excuse for blowing a 3-1 lead, especially when you had a team that couldn't even get any scoring out of anybody else besides Tobias Harris and Cade Cunningham. So yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily blame the head coach for the collapse. He does have part of to do with it because he didn't make any type of adjustments, or if he did make adjustments, the team just did not follow through with it. But yeah, I mean, it's bad when you up 3-1 and you lose the series, and then the next day your head coach gets fired because you guys couldn't seal the deal.
Yeah, I don't like that firing. I was kind of upset over the entire thing. Jamal Mosley was the coach for 5 years and really helped kind of the turnaround in in Orlando. Um, in the past 3 years, yes, they've gotten bounced out the first round, but he's building something there in Orlando, and there was a mentality there. And yeah, again, like you said, is he part of the fault of the 3-1 collapse? Absolutely. But I mean, he can't control his team missing 27 straight field goals. Um, that I mean, I think watching a lot of the games, he did make adjustments. It's the players didn't execute. I don't know how that's falling back on him. I don't know how that's his fault. He was without one of his best players. I mean, Wagner earlier in the series, he was averaging about 20 points per game, and he was guarding Cade Cunningham pretty well, as you could see of why they got to the point that they were up 3-1. And I don't like this firing at all. I'm normally like understanding of some of the firings in the NFL, NBA, or whatever, but not not this one, not someone who has gotten the success out of his team as Mosley has. So much it hasn't led to playoff success. I think he's building something, and now that's just kind of restarted for everybody. To the point where they now have to find a new head coach, and it might not gel with the players on this team where Mosley did. So that's why I'm just really not a big fan of the firing of Mosley, because I think he was very successful in his 5 years there in Orlando.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not a fan of the firing either. Um, like I said, I understand the organization wants to win. I mean, I don't know any organization that doesn't want to win, but at the same time, you got to look at your player personnel. Obviously, like we both say, he looked like he did try to make some adjustments. The players just did not either was able to um, follow through on the adjustments or what. But I mean, part of it you fully can't. I mean, like I said, yeah, part of it he has to take the blame for it because he is the head coach. But again, when you lose, when one of your best players, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that because now he's put at a disadvantage, especially your best player that was guarding Cade Cunningham, the Pistons' best player. So yeah, I'm with you 100%. I don't agree with this firing, um, but that's how that Magic organization does, and so like you said, the next coach may not be able to get this team to perform the way Mosley did. They might become worse.
Yeah, I just wish that some organizations were a bit more patient with certain things. Again, you have to realize that as far as I know, and as far as I haven't ever heard any rumblings out of Orlando these past 5 seasons with the players not liking Mosley. It seems like they really enjoy him around. So, again, I don't think that this is a good firing. Um, in the fucking 2-7 matchup, we have to talk about this one too, because Philly to me did almost the impossible. Uh, Spoiler
That's an
alert, if people
understatement.
are not the smartest, they get back 3-1 too, which was very shocking to me. In game six, they won 93 to 106. Uh, this Boston is a completely different team when their 3-point shooting is not going down. By a completely different team. Uh, Tatum had 17, Jalen Brown had 18, and Pritchard 14. They just could not make a shot. They shot 42% from the field, 29% from three, which is absolutely abysmal. PG had 23, Maxey had 30, and Embiid had 19. Very good scoring from all five starters. They all scored in double figures. Um, Limited the turnovers. Philly shocked me. I mean, Embiid had a good game, and it was just a kind of warm up to what he was able to do in Game 7, which we'll talk about in a second. But Game 6 again was a shock. But this Celtics team over the past couple of years have been known if the 3-point shot isn't falling, you can easily beat them, and it bites them again here in Game 6.
Sorry, because the Nick game just started, and right now they're reviewing whether it's a flagrant foul on Kelly Oubre on Cat Williams, Carl Anthony Towns.
There you go. I didn't know Cat Williams played for the Knicks. How about that?
Oh, it's gonna be one of those days. Told you I was tired.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, the Sixers and Celtics game series was one of those where it had me scratching my head because you could see that not having Porzingis no longer there now he's in Golden State, it has made a huge difference because with Porzingis that gives you a big that could protect the rim and help stretch the floor, and now you no longer have that with Boston. Now you're just relying on Tatum and Brown, and Tatum still doesn't look 100% after the Achilles injury. I feel it's gonna be a full year before he's 100% completely healed from it. Um, but yeah, people don't realize how good Tyrese Maxey is, and and Paul George, playoff P, is actually showing why he's playoff P, playoff P. Yeah, when you got five guys in double digits and almost everybody has 15 points or more. I mean, Kelly Oubre had 14 and Edgecombe had 14. Um, it's basically it's going to be hard to defeat that team, especially when you're. I mean, neither team really shot excellent from the field. So, quick update on the Sixers and Knicks game. They did call Kelly Oubre with a flagrant foul one.
Okay, well,
Because
so there's no way that they eject him that early, right?
nah, well, because on the play as he went to go block it, he followed through with basically clotheslining Cat and taking him down to the floor. But yeah, neither team shot exceptionally well. The Celtics shot 42% and the Sixers shot 44%. The only difference was the Sixers shot a little bit better from three at 33%, while the Celtics shot 29%. So I mean, turnovers were almost identical, 13 to 10. They both had 7 steals. So yeah, it's just like I said. I mean, you got two guys only scoring 5 points. One player had a triple single, 5 points, 4 rebounds, and assists. You're not gonna win a series that way.
No, and then we go into game 7. I figured Boston at home in game 7. There's no way they lose, right? I was wrong.
Yeah, but this isn't the old Boston teams, and this isn't the old Boston Garden.
Yeah, I know.
So
Um,
that allure isn't there at this new arena.
yeah, but I was like, it's a huge game 7. But then we got news that Tatum was not gonna play due to left knee soreness. Which at first I was like, "You've got to be kidding! Really, you're gonna sit out in game 7?" I think it was not him sitting out. I think it was the team kind of playing it safe, um, which is understandable. Again, he's coming off of an Achilles tear. He's probably putting a lot of weight on his other leg, which I think is his left knee because he tore his right Achilles. Um, and it's not fully healthy. He's not fully healthy, but they don't need him getting hurt and then being out all next year. Um, I think this is them being precautious and maybe thinking they can win without him. But boy, they were wrong. The Sixers won 109 to 100. Embiid had a 34-point game with 12 rebounds and 6 assists. Maxey followed up with 20 points, or sorry, with 30 points, and Edgecombe had 23. Brown had 33, and Derek White had 26 for the Celtics. It was it was a great back and forth game, but the Sixers were able to pull away at one point in the end there. So again, to me, a very shocking first round exit for the Celtics because I did not have that in the bingo cards. I had them maybe winning in 5 or 6, and they lost in 7. So, and the Sixers are obviously on to the second round against your New York Knicks, which we'll talk about in just a second.
Um, yeah, I mean, I can pretty much understand the fact that the Celtics were being cautious with Tatum, but at the same time, they should have known. You basically putting the scoring pressure all on Jalen Brown. Granted, Derek White, did chip in 26 points, but again, you don't have that. Again, you don't have Porzingis there to help protect the rim and help stretch the floor, which is what was a staple of the Boston's teams for the past couple of years, especially when they won the championship again 2 years ago. You no longer have that, and they basically just you know to me it seemed like they just threw in a towel. They was like, okay, now we have an excuse if we don't win. Okay, it was because we set Paul George with Jason Tatum with his left knee, and if we did win, we was basically playing with house money. Well, you guys didn't win, so and their shooting even got worse in this game than it did than it did game 6. So yeah, it was just to me it seemed like it was just like one of those cop out moves where they just felt like they just didn't have it in them, and so they was like, okay, what's the best way to do this without you know looking like we're actually throwing the series away?
Yeah, and then the team who they're going against, I think they should have gotten arrested for a murder case because you guys absolutely destroyed the Hawks in Game 6. Holy shit, 140 to 89. The Knicks win the series in 6. OG led the team with 29 points.
They got
Um,
dog
oh,
walked.
oh my God, they got BTA belt to ass. Um, Holy shit, there ain't not much to say about this. I mean, you could talk about it because it's your team, it's your Knicks, but god damn, you guys kicked their ass. I'll let
I
you take it
mean,
away.
I really don't have much to say about it. I mean, we literally dog walked the shit out of them. Um, we had a 47-point lead by halftime. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I really have nothing else to say about it. I mean, just the fact that that was the best game I've seen a team play. Since I've been watching them over 40 something years is just. I mean, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I did not
The Knicks
expect
shot
that.
50, the Knicks shot 59% from the field, and the Hawks shot 38. The Hawks had 10 foot or 10 more turnovers than the Knicks did. Like, holy, they won by 51 fucking points. My Mikal Bridges really showed up with 24. I think he watched the pod a little bit because ever since we said something about him, he's been better. Uh, but I mean, just Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, let's get away from that absolute freaking murder scene. That you guys did in Atlanta. Oh my goodness. And then
Well, I mean, if you look at the last, I mean, was it the last 3 games? Because we're not going to count today because today's just started. The last 3 games, I mean, it's been like a crime scene.
Mm. Yeah, you
Because
guys are
even
playing the best ball I've seen you guys play in a while.
because even game one of the Sixers game was that was yeah.
We will get to that because again, you guys are playing the best ball I've seen in a very, 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 very long time. Again, and then these East series were very freaking compelling. Holy God. The Raptors and the Cavs game, or Cavs series went 7 as well, but game 6 was absolute cinema. Um, with RJ Barrett hitting the craziest game winner I've seen in a very long time, or maybe since last year with the Halliburton one over you guys. He shot a three from top of the key, bounced off the back of the rim, went all the way up in the air, and it dropped in for the game-winning field goal in overtime with 1.2 seconds left. Um, it's just a crazy game. With just a crazy outcome. These two teams are so evenly matched, which I didn't really expect. I think I expected the Cavs to win in about 5 or 6, but the Raptors are young and they really proved themselves to me in the first round. They were without Ingram with a hamstring injury, but I mean, they really just never stopped and they never quit. And to be able to push a good team like the Cavs to 7 is a very good feat. And again, they're so young that they just got some experience in the playoffs, and now you know they'll be poised next year to be better in the situation of the NBA playoffs. But uh, for game 6, they won in miraculous fashion, 110 to 102, or 110 to 112, thanks to an absolute miracle shot from RJ Barrett, the former Nick.
Um, yeah, we also both called this game because we said neither team could win on the opponent's home court. Um, but yeah, I mean that shot was, I mean, when I seen it released, I was like, that's not going in because the way it bounced and was bouncing around, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not. Let me shut up for a second. And then, sure enough, it went right in, and I was like, okay. And then again, of Game 7, and I believe it was in Cleveland, and like our prediction said, the home teams held court while the road teams just could not find a way to win on the road.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens sometimes in the playoffs, where like just the road team no matter what they do, just can't win on the road. Ingram again did not play with a hamstring injury. Barnes and Barrett really led the way with 23 and 24 respectively. Um, and then the Cavs just again it was a bit too much. They had a bit more experience. A lot of the players on the Raptors never even played in a game 7, whereas the Cavs have in Harden and Mitchell.
And the fact that Harden showed up for Game 7 was shocking.
Yeah, a very efficient. No, actually not really. He shot 33%, 20% from the 3-point line, but he made 11 free throws, 11 of his 18 points. So again, Raptors proved something to me again with just how they played in the series, the toughness. Barnes, I wasn't familiar with how good he could play because again, he's a Raptor. I don't watch a lot of Raptors games, but he played a good series, and you know they made it very, very tough for this Cavs team to win this series. So respect to them, but the Cavs move on to round number 2.
I honestly think the only reason why the Cavs were able to move on to round two was because of Harden's 11 for 13 from the line. Because if you look at the numbers, everything was pretty much similar. The Raptors shot 44%, the Cavs shot 45%. The Raptors shot 29% from three, the Cavs shot 28% from three. They had 25 assists, the Cavs had 23 assists. The Raptors had 14 turnovers, the Cavs had 16 turnovers. The Cavs had eight steals, the Raptors had 10 steals. So the numbers were very similar. The Cavs had four blocks. If Cavs had five blocks, the Raptors had four blocks. And it was a 12-point victory. And like I said, Harden going 11 from 13 basically is what won that game for them.
Yeah, again, Harden's. I think I've made it very obvious on this podcast. I'm not the biggest fan of James Harden, but I'll give him credit.
Oh, neither
He
one of
did
us are.
no, he did help them win that game and was a big factor of why they did. And then on to the West. I mean, just to me, absolutely stunning outcome here in the 3-6 matchup. The Minnesota Timberwolves knocked off the Denver Nuggets to move on to the second round. Even without Anthony Edwards, Io DeSumo, and Dante DiVincenzo. Jokic and Cam Johnson were spectacular for the Nuggets with 27 and 28. Jamal Murray really just was abysmal. 12 points and 4-17 shooting because Jaden McDaniels was absolutely locking him up, and then McDaniels on the offensive end was incredible with 32 points, which is a career high for him. Um, I can't say the word stunned enough and with more emphasis. I did not expect this outcome at all. I thought this series was gonna go seven, and the Nuggets were gonna win it. And then, especially with all the injuries to the Timberwolves, I was like, all right, this is guaranteed Nuggets winning in seven. But um, just a great team win for the Nugget or for the Timberwolves, who just even with all the adversity of all the injuries, just never doubted themselves and they never gave up, and they were able to pull off to me one of the biggest upsets in the playoffs this year.
Oh, yeah, I did not expect this either. Once I heard that they lost Anthony Edwards and DiVincenzo, I was like, okay, there's no way Minnesota is going to win this series because now they got to rely on Julius Randle, and we know how that goal usually plays out. And I was completely surprised. Um, they got the usual, from Nicola and Cam Johnson, 27 and 28 points respectively apiece. But they really didn't get anything else from nobody else. Jamal Murray was just horrible, 4-17 for 12 points. Christian Braun, there's an APP for him, 3 points on 1 of 4 shooting. Tim Hardaway Jr., 13 points. He played me. He didn't do too bad. He was 4-7. And then Spencer Jones was 3-4 for 8 points. So yeah, Denver really didn't have much help compared to what Minnesota had. You look at it. Julius Randle put up 18 points. McDaniels had 32. Rudy Gobert decided to do something besides be a statue. He had a double double, 10 points, 13 rebounds. Almost had a triple double. He also had 8 assists. Um, Terrence Shannon, 24 points. And then Naz Reid had 15 points. So yeah, they was getting all around scoring on Minnesota without, having Edwards. AU and DiVincenzo not playing at all. And they just basically outplayed Denver, plain and simple.
Yeah, they did. And Shannon, that was his first playoff start, and he had 24 points. Again, it goes to show that the type of coaching that Finch has, and just the culture that is in that team in the locker room. And of course, now on to the Lakers and Rockets series. Um, Unfortunately, my favorite player has moved on to the second round. Uh, LeBron James and the Lakers move on past the Rockets. He had 28 points to lead
That
his
series
team,
was
of
a
course.
joke.
Yeah. And as you could tell, I'm very excited and happy that LeBron has moved on, so I get to see him for at least 4 more games in the playoffs. Did he had 28 points of 10 first round of shooting? Uh, he had 8 assists as well. Austin Reeves had 15. Hachimura was huge with 21. Um, the Rockets just could not make a shot, really. I mean, they were not that great for shooting wise. Um, but yeah, I mean, KD's out again with the sore right knee, or with the sore knee, whatever the fuck his ailment was, because I think that's. I'll talk about it in a second because I really like. I didn't mind Kevin Durant, but then this series really made me not like him too much because like, how are you going to sit out with a bum knee and then be laughing your ass off on the sidelines? It just shows no respect, no care about your teammates or there's anything. Like I don't know, it started in game one. If he was just out there, I think it would have been a huge difference where his team felt like that they could win, but they were without him, and we saw the outcome where they lost. Then it was just an outfield battle from there. Um, but again, it was Lakers really been their defense stepped up when they needed it to, and LeBron was his vintage self when it was called upon, so they were able to move on to the second round against the OKC Thunder.
Yeah, I don't really have anything on this series. This series, like I said, this series was a joke.
Yeah, I'm not very happy with Kevin Durant because again, it's a mentality thing. I think if he was out there game one, I think it would have been different. Even if he didn't play at 100%, it's just a different feeling of when your teammates know that like they have a chance, and I think they almost felt like they didn't have a chance to win game one without uh, KD, and then it showed. All right, round number two, we got the Cavs and the Pistons. This game happened last night. The Pistons were able to win this game by 10, 101 to 111. Um, Harden and Mitchell led the way again. Max Strus with 19 off the bench. Harden, though, 7 turnovers. Um, I saw a crazy stat on ESPN today. This is his 29th playoff game where he has had more turnovers than field goals made.
That's not surprising.
No, but I didn't think it was that many. Like, I knew that he had done it a few times, but 29 games. I think he was a huge downfall to their team as much as he had 22 points. To have 7 turnovers is not good, which led to the Cavs had 20 turnovers, which led to like 31 points off off those turnovers for the Pistons, which was a huge swing in this game. And then the the Pistons got some great balance scoring. Cade Cunningham was not the only one doing anything in this game. Duncan Robinson with 19 and Harris with 20 on efficient shooting from pretty much everybody uh, in the game. the Pistons, to me, showed why they're a number one seed. I think they got the bad round out of the way. They have a lot of momentum coming off of that Game 7 win. And, you know, they really proved it and showed it. Allen for the Cavs only had 2 points and 3 rebounds, but that's because he was in foul trouble pretty much all game. He had like 3 fouls in the first quarter. So, um, again, an impressive win for the Pistons, but again, pretty much to be expected with all the momentum that they had coming off that huge Game 7 win at home against the Magic. So, again, they got that their Game 1 win, and Game 2 is tomorrow.
Um, yeah, I mean, the Pistons defense really showed up in this game. And then everybody else actually showed up as well. Um, you still, I still need to see more from Jalen Duren. 11 points really is not going to cut it. They basically, got away with it. But when you got, Tobias Harris is giving you 20, Duncan Robinson's giving you 19, Cunningham is doing what he does best, giving you 23. And then, Thompson gave you 11 and Jenkins gave you 12. And Duran's supposed to be the third option on that team. He's not looking like a third option. He's looking like the fifth option. So, yeah, he needs to step up because, I mean, this Cavs team is not a team that you could, take lightly.
No, I will give Duran credit on defensive end. He was really good in this game. He was very good. He was getting a bunch of offensive rebounds as well, which led to a Duncan Robinson 3-pointer a few times. So he was impacting the game more than just scoring. I will say. Um, Again, I mean, he was in the playoffs last year with the Pistons, obviously, but again, being the huge second option, which he was all this past season, he averaged like 19 points per game. It is an adjustment, and having Mobley and Allen is definitely no easy task to try and score against. So I'll give him some slack because again, he was doing other intangibles to help the team win, um, which they did in this game or win uh, last night. And then your freaking Knicks. They were playing the Sixers. Um, in game one of the second round. I'll let you take it away. You guys add. I mean, just Jesus Christ, a 39-point win. Uh, yeah, you can take it away because this was just god damn. Yeah, oh my god.
So, well, ESPN did put up a stat, during the second game two right now, that the Knicks is the first team to have a 3 game winning streak in the playoffs of 25 plus points. So yeah, every team I mean, well, not every team, but games 5 and 6 of in Atlanta, they beat the Hawks by what? I think it was 65. No, I think it was 85 points combined, and then they just beat the brakes off Philadelphia in game one. Um, and that's even with, and this is the funny part because Carl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robertson both was in foul trouble in the first half. They both had 3 fouls apiece, which was looking like what the game plan was for the Sixers to get them in foul trouble, and that plan backfired. Um, like they basically shut everybody down. The high scoring player was Paul George with 17 points. Embiid had 14 on 3 of 11 shooting. Kelly Oubre had 12 points and 5 of 8 shooting. Tyrese Maxey had 13 points, so 3 of 9 shooting, 0 for 3 from the field, 3-point line. And Edgecombe had 12 points for 5 of 11, 2 for 5 from 3. Um, and then you look at, I mean, other than Josh Hart, every other Nick basically almost had 20 points. OG Anunoby had 18, Cat had 17, Hart had 8. Mikael Bridges has been another signing by him, 17 points, and Brunson 35 points, and no starter played the fourth quarter. So that's the second game in a row where the starters didn't even play in the fourth quarter because the game was already out of hand.
I know when I see Tyler fucking Kolek play the game, I'm like, all right, yeah, this game was out of hand for a while. Um, Again, just the Knicks are doing what they should be doing. I'll be honest. Again, they are just imposing their will, which is again what they're supposed to be doing. They're a 3 seed. Hawks gave them a good scare in the first round, but then they really turned around and Mike Brown made adjustments, and they played amazing defense and they were locked in offensively. Uh, and again, we'll see if that continues in game 2. But uh, again, they are doing everything I pretty much expected them to do. In the playoffs right now with just all the experience, all the expectations that were going into it.
Well, just to give you a quick update, they just ended the first quarter. The Sixers are up by 2, 33-31. So, I mean, right now the game is close. Now, will it stay that way? Who knows?
Again, and that's the Sixers without Joel Embiid tonight. So, and then the last game we were going to talk about in the playoffs is the Lakers and Thunder. I'm watching this because it went exactly how I expected. 90 to 108. Again, it brings a smile to my face. I mean, LeBron had 27 points, led the team. Uh, Guys, he's like 40,000 years old. Can we get him some help, please? Russell Reeves went 3 of 16 shooting for 8 points. That is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Hachimura was pretty much the only help for him for James all game with 18 points. SGA for the Thunder had a uncharacteristic game, really. 18 points, 6 assists, 7 turnovers. That is uncharacteristic, and the Lakers couldn't take advantage, and honestly, couldn't make a shot. Holmgren had 24, Adrian Mitchell had 18, and Jared McCain had 12. Jalen was not playing today. I think he had a hamstring injury, and of course Luka was still out as well for the Lakers. So there's really no excuse because really they were both without one of their best players. So, but again, it went exactly how I expected. And I think the Thunder might get the brooms once again and get the Lakers out of there in 4. That's my guess on that. But again, it went exactly how I expected this to go, which is the Lakers getting absolutely destroyed by the Thunder.
Yeah. I'd be shocked if this series goes 6. Because I don't see SGA having another game like he did in game 1, where he had 7 turnovers and 8 for 15 shooting. Yeah, I don't see that happening again. Austin Reed's coming off his injury. I can't give him a little bit of break, but Again, if you're going shooting 0 for 5 from downtown, do I really need to say it?
You could say it.
Take your ass to the hole. Draw some
There you
fouls. Go to the free throw line. 2 for 2 from the free throw line is not acceptable. I mean, it looks like the Lakers were scared to drive, period, because nobody had more than what looks like 2 free throw attempts. LeBron was 0 for 1. Hachimura was 1 for 2. I don't even think DeAndre Ayton made it to the free throw line. Marcus Smart was 2 for 2, and Austin Reeves was 2 for 2. So, yeah, obviously you're not getting to the free throw line. So, get your asses to the free throw line.
go. Yep. Again, I am a little tired. I forgot there was a whole other series. There's one more game.
Who did we figure? Oh, Minnesota San Antonio.
This shocked the living shit out of me. I'm gonna make a joke. Hopefully, everyone's okay with this. I think Alex Rodriguez, the part owner of the Timberwolves, got Anthony Edwards some good stuff and juiced up his leg and helped him play. Because Ant Edwards wasn't supposed to come back until game 4 or 5. And he played in this game 1. So I think Alex Rodriguez hooked him up with his guy, uh, got him some steroids, and juiced him up. Because Ant was not supposed to play for another at least week or 2. But he came off the bench, which is smart by the coach. Very balanced score, and Julius Randle led the freaking way with 21 points. But 5 turnovers. I gotta watch out for that one. But I mean, I had expected I expected the Timberwolves to win 1 game. I expected to be game 1 in San Antonio. And stunned is probably the best word I could use. They won by 2, 104, 102. Wembanyama had 12 blocks. I think 5 of them were about goaltends.
Playoff record.
Yeah, I'll give him that, but a few of them were probably goaltends. Champagny had a chance to win the game with about 5 seconds left. The coach chose not to call a timeout. And Champagny almost made a 3-pointer to win the game. I'm okay with the no timeout call. I know people are a bit upset about that, but again, the Timberwolves half court defense there in the fourth quarter was just hounding and harassing everybody who had the ball. So just running it, I think it was off of a missed free throw, or he might have been a made free throw. I don't remember. Was actually probably fine because going against the half court set defense against the the Timberwolves wasn't ideal. So just being it more in a just easy flow of the game was probably the best option. Again, Timberwolves stunning, and again, game 2 is tonight after the Knicks game.
Yeah, I did not expect Minnesota to come out and win game 1. I had a feeling it was going to be a close game. I didn't expect a 2-point game, but yeah, I mean, you would expect with Wembyambi having set an NBA record for blocks in the postseason with 12, that the game was a blowout, and it was nowhere near. Um, Nobody on San Antonio had more than 20 points. Let me rephrase that. Nobody on San Antonio had 20 points. Dylan Harper had 18, which was the highest. Kendall Johnson had 11. Stephon Castle had 17. Devin Vassell had 14. De'Aaron Fox had 10. Wembanyama had a triple double, 11 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 blocks, which is an unusual triple double. But and then Julian Champagne had 17. So I mean, and then you look at Rudy Go. They need to do something with Gobert because this guy is just basically he's a statue. I mean, 3 of 7 for 7 points, 1 for 5 from the 3 point line, and he did have 10 rebounds, but he's a statue. He's useless. And then I was shocked to see that Anthony Edwards did play. Granted, he came off the bench, which was probably the smartest thing, but still, I mean, we was expecting him not to be in the lineup for like another week. So yeah,
Now we have just a few NBA news. Jalen Brown, he has been fined $50,000 for his public criticism of the refs in the series against the Sixers on his live stream on Twitch. He called Embiid a flopper. Everyone should know it. Again, we do Jalen. A lot of what he said wasn't wrong, but again, to just be as outspoken as he was, hit him with a $50,000 fine. The Bulls are hiring Atlanta Hawks senior vice president Bryson Graham as the franchise executive vice president of basketball operations. So we'll see how that goes for him. Trying to rebuild the Bulls a little bit, to not just be a playing team. And after the series round one win, the Pistons signed Detroit.
exactly.
Yeah, sorry. The the Pistons have re-signed their head coach JB Bickerstaff to an extension, well deserved, well earned, with the turnaround he has had there in Detroit. And then the Mavericks are hiring Masai Ujiri as the franchise's new team president and alternate governor. Ujiri ran the Raptors from 2013 to 2025, serving as the architect for the 2019 NBA championship team. And again, we talked about Jamal Mosley and the Magic letting him go. But we also have a dummy of the week,
Yes, we do.
and it is brought to you by Tony because he sent me this. And when I saw this, it made me scratch my head.
I knew you would get a kick out of this one.
Yeah. So Minnesota's not NFL team, but their college team. Starting quarterback Drake Lindsay was arrested last Friday in Arkansas and accused of underage possession of alcohol and fake identity. What the fuck are you doing? Fake identification and underage drinking.
That's pure stupidity.
Yeah. According to a report from the police, an officer was alerted by staff at Ehog Bar shortly after midnight about a possible fake identification document. Staff directed a police officer to Lindsay, who was 20, who admitted to having the fake identification and to consuming alcohol before arriving at the bar. He was taken to the detention center. A copy of the fake ID was discovered in his wallet. Lindsay signed a form for a minor in possession of alcohol, attempted use of fraudulent or altered identification document. He was released about 7 hours later after posting a $470 bond. Um, it it I just I'm losing words for these kind of situations. Um, just I can't even say like, what are you thinking? Because clearly he's not thinking. Um, just I don't have much more to say on this, but just this.
Dummy. Yeah. Dummy. Yeah. Dummy. Yeah. Dummy. 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 Yeah.
And here's my thing: a lot of these states are now going to these new driver's licenses or identification IDs, where there's certain marks on them that you know to show that they're real. So I mean, coming out with a fake ID just so you could go, have a few drinks with your buddies. First of all, it's not worth ruining your college career because basically that's what you're just now doing. And then, not only that, you're trying to run using a fake ID. IDs are now being harder to fake. So unless you guys, know somebody that does a really good job on them, it's not worth doing it. So yeah, I mean, he was more like the idiot of the week compared more than a dummy.
Anyway, it was pure idiocracy. That
100%.
that that like just tops my list of the year so far. I mean, that was just absolutely stupid. Um, again, I'm sorry, but drinking is not that important to ruin your possible NFL career. Again, if he still plays good uh, at Minnesota in college, but and then again, possibly your life over it. It's not worth it at all.
And this is what makes it so even worse is that fact that I don't even remember the last time I heard of somebody trying to use a fake ID to get in the bar, let alone quote with one.
Yeah, I haven't either. Uh, but it happened to a guy who was in college trying to make it to the NFL.
So that message is sent, to a message to a lot of teams that okay, can't trust this kid because obviously he's going to do something stupid. It's not worth it.
Yeah, and it's just his own fault. So you can't really feel bad for him.
Oh, I don't.
I don't either.
Ugh. Do we have anything else?
No, that's all I got. Very again, it was pretty much just the NBA playoffs. NFL has been a bit quiet, which how it should be. It's in the offseason. The NFL draft is over. So, but we do have a word from our partners.
Yes, we do. Oh, my back. This is your sign to stop drinking mint energy. Still sipping on weak fuel that leaves you crashing 30 minutes later? Embarrassing. Enter Doobie, the energy that doesn't play nice. Clean, mean, built to keep you locked in while everyone else burns out. No jitters, no crashes, just smooth, relentless energy that hits like a wake up call you can't ignore. One scoop and suddenly you're outworking everyone. Your focus is razor sharp, and excuses gone. Let's be real. You don't need another basic drink. You need something that keeps up with you. Doobie, stay wired, stay winning, stay dangerous. And I actually did see that on Facebook. They do have a new flavor out. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Um, Let me see.
Yes. While you look again, do we thank you for sponsoring or being partners with us? And again, if you want to go over there to their website and use our code DropZone, you can get 15% off your order with our promo code DropZone. So again, thank you to Dewey for being partners with us for a decent amount of time now.
So they just brought back the mango drops. And it says, we just brought back your childhood. Remember those mango hard candies that were in the metal tin? Well, we've turned it into a delicious energy drink flavor. Take a walk down memory lane with us with this one. So yeah, it's this one basically contains coffee bean extract. So it's a different form of energy. And they're also celebrating their fifth year in business. Oh, now they're coming out with a zero sugar flavor as well. That's gonna looks like it's gonna be in stores.
Nice.
So yep, they're doing really good things. Okay, so uh, yeah, we had no Jay today, so we had no entertaining comments today.
No, he's probably hard at work like he normally is. Uh, yeah.
So just a quick update on the next game. It's 53-48 Philadelphia with 4 minutes and 47 seconds left. Well, 54-48 now.
Man, they really gave you guys to run for your money without Embiid. It's so weird. Some teams without the rest player are better, and then some teams are worse. I don't get it.
Well, that's because they don't have to. They can spread the ball out more evenly. They don't have to focus on getting that one player the ball.
Hmm.
So some teams, are better teams like that. So, um, yeah, we don't have nothing else, and we're pretty much done for the night.
Yep. Can make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Go over to our Facebook group. You can catch all of our updates over there.
Yep, and we've been doing. This podcast will be audioly uploaded on Spotify and Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio within about an hour. So until next week, we'll see everybody later.
Have a good week.